And hello there. Welcome to this week's Truth Force. There's a reason why I'm standing out here in a field. I wanted to show you something really cool. This right here, this plant with the red stems and these berries here, a lot of you are probably familiar with this. This is called pokeberry. And one of the things you may not know that I found out this week that I thought was very cool is that the pokeberry, which is inedible, don't eat this plant, this is very dangerous, but if you'll notice, some of the riper berries are black and they are used for ink or dye. In fact, these berries were used to write the Constitution of the United States. And this is very appropriate to our Truth Force for today. Well, there it is, the author of the Constitution, or one of them. And the reason that the pokeberries are relevant to today is the Constitution. Today began the hearings of Kavanaugh for the United States Supreme Court. There's been a lot of issues around these hearings, a lot of memes, and I want to address some of them. I want to share a letter that I wrote. I think I had mentioned at some point that I was advising Senator Rubio and his staff. So a letter that I wrote to Senator Rubio's office saying my concerns about this hearing. One of the most important things in our country is the Supreme Court, and it is essential that people have confidence in the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court has become very politicized, especially the Republicans have made some real questionable decisions about things that they've done around the Supreme Court, which has certainly delegitimized it in the eyes of many who are paying attention. Ben Sasse at today's hearing did a whole speech about how Congress has abdicated its responsibility and that it's because of what they've done in the Congress that things have gone so badly with the Supreme Court and that the Supreme Court has become politicized. Of course, Mr. Sasse didn't make any reference to today's hearing, which is incredibly political, incredibly partisan. Mr. Kavanaugh, as you know, there are many, many questions about him, some very, very disturbing questions. One being he served in the Bush White House. Did he take part in the torture memos? He claimed in his first hearing many years ago that he did not. And it turns out that he probably lied about that and lied to Congress, which is very serious if he was involved with torture. In addition, there are some of his writings which are very disturbing. Some of the most important ones right now that people are concerned with is the idea that he believes that the president should not be held accountable either civilly or criminally while in office, basically saying that the president would be above the law. And considering who is nominating him, which is Trump, this is actually very relevant right now. And what has happened is the archives, the National Archives, which usually provides documentation for these hearings, said they can't get all the papers done until the end of October. The White House, in addition, Trump has claimed executive privilege on 100,000 pages pertaining to Kavanaugh's work in the Bush administration. So there's a great deal of information being withheld, and the Republicans are pushing ahead anyway because they know that after the next election, they probably won't have a chance. There's a very good chance that we're going to take back the Senate and definitely the House. So they're scrambling, they're concerned, and so they're trying to rush this through. It's a purely political exercise. And this is not something you should be doing purely political exercises about. Supreme Court already was greatly delegitimized by their stealing of Merrick Garland's seat and giving it to Neil Gorsuch, who lied in his confirmation hearings, as was pointed out by Chris Coons today in the hearings, when Gorsuch said that he will respect precedent and not seek to overturn it. He's already gone back on that 4 times, as recently as Labor Day, when he voted against unions, which overturned 40 years of precedent. Okay, so now I want to read you the letter that I wrote to Senator Rubio. I'm asking that everyone do the same. Write a letter, do a phone call, write in, let them know you are not happy with this, nor should you be. Okay, here it is. This is to Tom Self in Marco Rubio's office. I'm writing to appeal to you, to appeal to the senator, to do the right thing, which is not the most partisan thing, but the right thing for the good of the country and all concerned. The way the Republicans are trying to rush Kavanaugh through, with the majority of his wreckage and documents not available or being purposefully hidden, stinks to high heaven. I've seen recently that Kavanaugh has less support than Harriet Mier did in the country as a whole. That's pretty amazing. After stealing Merrick Garland's seat on the pretext of adhering to the principle of letting the people vote before picking a justice, the idea of rushing a controversial nominee through with so much info delayed or hidden is so disgustingly partisan, hypocritical, and downright unfair. Once again, Senator Rubio has an opportunity to do something courageous and right here. Announce that in the interest of fairness and precedent, he will vote against Kavanaugh unless the Republicans postpone to allow the full record to be released and demand that Trump withdraw his executive privilege as well on other documents or withdraw the candidate. The principle here is that we cannot give someone who has expressed some alarming views on executive power at this time to be sneaked into the back door of the Supreme Court for a lifetime appointment. Right now, the Republicans look like criminal conspirators with Trump working to ensure he is able to avoid justice. Someone in the party has to start acting from principle. If this man is put on the court through an illegitimate process, the already shaky faith in the Supreme Court's impartiality will collapse. To me, Gorsuch is illegitimate, and this one will be seen the same way. I beg Senator Rubio to fulfill his sacred oath and do what is best for the country, not the Republican Party. That's my letter. I hope you'll go and do the same. And this, again, is something that we as Democrats should be proud of. While watching the hearing, there were many Republicans on there who were cheering for winning. And they didn't seem to understand. They think it's a sporting event. They don't understand all the lives that will be affected by this. And it's very sad. But thank goodness there are those of us who are awake and alive. And the vast majority of us feel this way. So go ahead, share your voices, and we're getting close to those elections, folks. Do not forget this stuff. Get out there. It is essential that we take back the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.